How to build an easy bee farm in Minecraft. These are the resources you will need for this farm. Okay, so the first step to this farm is to place yourself at the 5 block long block line, like this. And then if you're going to use beehives and you're going to manually bring the bees over, place yourself at 5 beehives right here. However, if you're bringing bee nests that already have bees in them, you will wait with having to place them. Now for this tutorial, I'm going to be using beehives. Then I'm going to place 4 blocks right here, 4 blocks right here, a row of blocks right here. And then I'm going to place myself 5 dispensers going down facing towards where the beehives is. Then what I'm going to do now is place myself out 5 flowers right here. This can be any kind of flowers. And then I'm going to expand the wall we have on the side right here by 2 blocks going outwards on each side. And then I'm going to build a glass wall right in front of here like this. That is 3 blocks high. And then I'm going to build a row of blocks on top of those glass. And then I'm going to cover in the roof right here with more blocks. Then I'm going to break out the 2 blocks I have on the side right here. Place 1 door right here and 1 right here. This is simply an extra security measure. So obviously we can head inside here, close the door, open this one, simply to make sure no bees escape. Then what I'm going to do now is start on the collecting system. So for the collecting system, I'm going to be using railings and a hopper minecart, which is probably the best. So what I'm going to do here is break myself out 3 blocks down right here. And then from this hole, which is right in front of the middle of the glass, I'm going to break 4 blocks forward, or 2 blocks forward, 1, 2. And then if I dig straight up now, I should reach a flower. So if I break this block, we should get right under the glass, which means that the block we have right here is right under where the flower is. So if that is correct, then break out 2 blocks to the left. My game is lagging a bit, I apologize about that. Then 2 to the right, like this. And then we're going to break 1 more forward, just to have a little bit extra space to work with. Then after we've done that, we're going to place ourselves at the chest right here. We will also need some more space to get out, of course, like this. Then we're going to place ourselves at a hopper right here. Then 2 more hoppers right here. Head to the other side and do the same. 1, 2. And what you will need to do now is break yourself out 2 more blocks going backwards, like this. Then you want to place 2 solid blocks right here. And then place a powered rail on top of this block. Dig under this block. Place a redstone torch right here. This should have powered rail. Then simply place yourself out normal railings going to the other side. Then head to the other side and do the same. Break yourself out 2 more blocks into this side. Then place 2 solid blocks right here. A redstone torch under the last solid block. Place yourself at the powered rail right here. Then a railing right here. Then to make sure this works, you can place yourself at the powered rail. Sorry, I mean hopper minecart right there. And now this should go back and forth. Then after you've done that, we can now head back up here and we can obviously rebuild some of these blocks if you want, because we're not really going to need to access the area under here. We're only going to stay on top of here. So that's pretty much a collecting system. So now we will have to get started on the redstone. That will obviously dispose scissors or empty bottles into the beehives. So to do that, we're going to place yourself out blocks right behind all the beehives and of course the dispensers. Then I'm going to place myself a row of blocks right here, and then I'm going to turn around and place a row of repeaters going out from those blocks or on top of those blocks. Then I'm going to place another row of blocks right here with the redstone dust on it. Then I'm going to place a row of blocks right here with more redstone dust on it. Then I'm going to place myself out a row of glass right above the first redstone we placed with more redstone dust on it, of course. And then I'm going to place myself 4 blocks right here, more redstone dust, and then finally even more redstone dust. And we can also now break the blocks we have right here. So now this redstone will pretty much be right behind where we have the dispensers. And now the farm is almost done because we only really have 2 more steps. One of those steps is to fill up these dispensers with either empty glass bottles or shares, and then we will obviously need to bring the bees into this room. Now from a bee farm, you can either get honeycomb or honey bottles. Now if you fill up these dispensers with empty bottles, you will get honey bottles, and if you fill them up with shares, you will get honeycomb. Now you can also have a mix of them, so right here I want to focus on getting honeycomb more. So what I'm going to do is fill up 3 of these with shares and then 2 of them with glass bottles. So anyways, then do that. Make sure you also fill in every slot with something, just make sure it collects something every time, like that. So now I filled up 2 of these dispensers with bottles and 3 with shares. So now the last step of this farm is pretty much just to fill up this room with bees. Oh, and quickly also just replace these blocks. So anyways, now the last step to this farm is to fill up this room with a bunch of bees. Now each beehive in Minecraft can hold up to 3 bees if I remember correctly, which means that I would highly recommend you have at least 3 bees per beehive. And this is of course to make sure that the farm produces as much honey as possible. So anyways, then just bring 3 bees per beehive inside of here, and yeah. Now quickly to say, if you are in survival, I would highly recommend that you simply find some bees that are flying around, like for example up here, and you bring them in here using leads or for example a flower to lure them in there, and then you can either breed them up inside the room or simply just look around and find as many bees as possible. But anyways, then just get 3 bees inside there per beehive, and yeah. Okay, so I just spawned in 15 bees inside there because I am in creative. Now to quickly say, getting 15 bees inside there might be a bit hard, especially if you're in survival, but I've done it before. It might take a couple attempts, but just make sure you're careful, and it shouldn't take too long. So yeah, now the farm is pretty much done, and all I really need to do now is just wait for the bees to obviously pick up the beehive and fly into them, and yeah. So yeah, that is pretty much the farm, guys. So anyways, that is it for this one. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions about how this works or anything like that, feel free to leave them down below and I'll try to answer you as quickly as possible. So anyways, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.